Of course, only Hawaii people gonna make one club thousands of miles away from home just to hang out with other Hawaii people. So what's the deal with Hawaii clubs? I asked that half jokingly and half seriously. I think a comedian could take this idea or concept and probably run with it. But as someone born and raised in Hawaii who went away for college, I think Hawaii clubs are kind of ridiculous. Maybe ridiculous is too strong a word, but at the very least, I think it's kind of strange. And just to be clear, I'm not saying the people involved in Hawaii clubs are strange, but I think just the overall concept of a Hawaii club is a little unusual. If you're not familiar with the concept of Hawaii clubs, they are these student organizations across college campuses where a bunch of, presumably, Hawaii students get together, they hang out, and usually they put on a luau every single year. And for some, having a Hawaii club is actually a major selling point when these colleges are recruiting local kids. And I still remember the college recruiter who recruited me to UNC. He actually came to my high school and we sat down with the guidance counselor and we went over the whole spiel. Besides the fact that they wanted to lock me in for early admission, meaning that I wouldn't have to scramble later in the year to figure out what school I was gonna go to, a big selling point was the fact that they had a very active Hawaii club. And by the way, I know that Hawaii clubs are not just limited to people who are from Hawaii, but I don't think I ever met anyone who was involved in Hawaii club who wasn't from Hawaii. And I do wonder what other mainland people think about Hawaii clubs or Hawaii people. Hawaiians, they'll mislabel us. But I wonder what they think about those clubs. I mean, we really don't see any other geographic specific clubs, particularly at a state level, so widely popular across several university campuses, maybe even hundreds of campuses. I mean, are there Alaska clubs or Arkansas clubs or New Hampshire or Maine clubs, of which those two states have very similar population sizes as Hawaii? I don't remember that in the college catalog. So what is it about Hawaii that makes it so unique that it garners, maybe even sometimes necessitates, the creation of these Hawaii clubs at university campuses? And maybe part of the reason is cultural. Hawaii has a pretty unique culture, although I'm sure every state could say that about themselves. We have the local culture, the foods and the pidgin language, you know, the contemporary local culture of plate lunches, 2 scoops rice, rubber slippers and board shorts. On top of that, we have the native Hawaiian culture, which adds sort of an extra layer to learning about Hawaii. And there may be students who want to share that as well as want to learn about that. And so I think on a college campus, it's nice to find other students who are interested in that, who have maybe a similar cultural background, the way that they grew up, they just sort of get it. Particularly if that group is interested in sharing about Hawaii, both contemporary Hawaii as well as the native Hawaiian cultures of Hawaii, with the community that they're in. I think that's great. But if I'm really honest with why I think these Hawaii clubs do exist, I think it's the isolation. Culturally, we're just really isolated. I mean, geographically, we are too, but I think culturally, Hawaii is so isolated that when people go away, particularly students who are so young, I think they're just looking to connect with something familiar because they're in a setting that is completely unfamiliar. Hawaii is very unique. If you grew up here, you're from here, there really is nothing like it. And so when you go to other places that are maybe have more in common with each other than with Hawaii, it can feel like it's very hard to fit in. I mean, really what it comes down to is, I think, culture shock. I mean, I still remember moving into my dorm during my freshman year. Nobody, no Asians on my floor. And as I walked around campus or I went to the cafeteria, I just instinctually, naturally just look around, just scan the room to try to find someone with black hair. Most of the time it was international students, but it was just a habit that I had because I was just looking to find someone that looked like me or looked like someone in Hawaii, someone that I feel like I could relate to. And that habit of scanning the crowd for some local person was and is hard to break. And so when you grow up in a place like Hawaii, where although we all kind of look different from each other, collectively we generally think very similar to each other. When you go to another place where people look different from you and also think different from you, it can be quite a transition. Gotta watch out for the prickles. Don't want to step on those. And so I sense that the familiarity with other people from Hawaii is very comforting for students, particularly those who haven't really traveled much before going away to the mainland. However, this is a very interesting crossroads for many a Hawaii student. Do you flock to the familiarity and comfort of other Hawaii students, or do you decide to break away and to experience new things and meet new people? I mean, I know many Hawaii students who basically just hung out with other Hawaii kids for 4 years. They had a great time, a lot of close friends, but I feel like they missed out. I also know Hawaii kids who had nothing to do with other Hawaii kids, and in a way it almost felt like they purposely tried to stay away from other Hawaii students. And when they graduated, I had no idea that they were even from Hawaii because I hardly ever saw them. For me, I tried to navigate both. I had a close group of friends who were from Hawaii, but I also had a lot of great friends who were from Colorado, my roommates, the guys I played poker with, just people in the community who I got to know over time. And by getting to know other people, I didn't feel like the shy minority anymore. I got used to hanging out with other people who didn't look like me, who were from other places. And by the time I left UNC, I just kind of felt like I belonged. And so while I see a lot of social benefits to joining a Hawaii club or Hawaii clubs in general, I do kind of wonder if maybe they're in a way sheltering our kids, siloing them off and creating these groups that aren't really necessary. Nice to have, but maybe not necessary. And that's not to say that Hawaii clubs don't offer any benefits. There's a lot of fellowship and social benefits to hanging out with Hawaii kids. But I think part of me didn't want to get too involved because I just thought in my mind, well, I moved all the way out here to Colorado. Why would I want to hang out with just other Hawaii people? It didn't really make any sense. If I wanted to do that, I would have just stayed home and gone UH. Now looking back, I don't know if my outlook on that whole issue was correct. Maybe I was wrong. I'm not sure, but it's what I felt at the time. I know how scary it can be to have to meet new people, to be put into new places. I've seen some Hawaii kids thrive, and I've seen them figuratively drown. I know how it feels to walk around campus and look around and nobody looks like you. How awkward that feeling can be. But for someone from Hawaii, that's growth. Because when you go through things like that, your perspective changes. Hopefully you grow things like empathy, understanding, kindness. And when you do come back to Hawaii, it's just like something changes with you. You see life differently. It gives you a perspective on Hawaii that frankly is really hard for people who stay here their entire lives to really ever understand. And that's okay. But as my dad says, you grow up. Thanks for watching, and aloha.